going on, dudes and dudettes? So it looks like USC was able to hire away one of the general managers or assistant to the general manager at Notre Dame. His name is Chad Bowden, and it looks like they are hiring him as their own general manager. I guess they do have someone that's in a certain type of position, but he's moving on to do something else. I don't know. It's just weird, like how more professional it is, because obviously you have like GMs or presidents of basketball operations and stuff, and somehow they do the same thing. They draft and try to sign players, but they're supposed to work together, even though sometimes one guy could have those two positions, or you have two separate guys have it. So it's kind of like a tug and war type of thing. But this guy apparently was one of Marcus Freeman's guys, and he definitely wanted to keep him at whatever cost. But apparently USC's check was just a little bit better, and maybe just the opportunity too. And yeah, they're able to steal him away from their hated rival. So I'm definitely very happy about that. Hopefully he could bring some more stability, as he has somewhat brought to that Notre Dame crew, and obviously keeping certain players and recruiting at a high level, because he was one of their top recruiting personnel too. And then yeah, they obviously made it to the national championship and had an opportunity to win. So hopefully USC has a nice turnaround. They're definitely paying a bunch of people behind the scenes in order to do that. Definitely a person behind the scene we got to thank very much too is a lot of people are calling her the GOAT, which is the athletic director, and Jen Cohen. Obviously it's only like her second or third year with the program, but yeah, she's definitely done a big time turnaround, and hopefully there's some more good news coming for USC, not only football but the other athletics too that she is involved in and in control of. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing the future with her at the helm. Then when it came to a player that I recently talked about, AJ Tuitele, he's like a 3-star linebacker who recently decommitted from Washington State, but after a recent visit with USC, it looks like a lot of predictions are coming to him to sign with USC. So he's one of those like later 2025 guys that they're going to end up signing in this class near February, which is pretty nice. They obviously have not signed many, if any at all, linebackers in this class. A lot of those guys ended up moving on to other teams, and they were able to keep like Eric Gentry to return, but yeah, it's definitely pretty thin there, and we'll see. There's not a lot of experience too, and they're going to just add at least one more guy, so maybe they look for another guy in the spring transfer portal window who's a little bit older, but we'll see how that goes. And there's like a top player, I think he's a 4-star corner in the 2026 class. His name is Albert Hill, and he recently scheduled a USC visit for actually this weekend, January 25th. So I think I saw him take a picture with the Heisman and everything, and it all looked like it was a great visit. So hopefully they have some nice lead in the recruiting battle for the 2026 4-star cornerback. And there was a 2027 like 4-star, maybe 5-star tight end from local Mater Dei in Orange County. It looks like he reclassified to the 2026 class, so coming in next season or the following season. His name is Mark Bowman, and yeah, he has like a lot of top schools after him also. So hopefully USC is doing some good stuff. I know he is. He has shown some interest in them pretty recently, so hopefully they can add him, because they did add a couple of good tight ends the past couple years. I don't think they added really anybody this last season, so hopefully they can add this guy in next year's 2026 class. And speaking of that class, I believe there's a 4-star offensive tackle who's like 6'6", 270. His name is Carter Scruggs, and he has a top 12 schools right now, and USC is part of that. He also does have a lot of other Big Ten and SEC schools and some of the top ACC schools. So hopefully USC makes the next big cut that he's most likely going to be having over the next year or so. And yeah, he's definitely a pretty talented guy. So hopefully USC can get him. And I believe there was a 4-star wide receiver from the state of Georgia. Or he's actually, yeah, he's from the state of Georgia and a Georgia commit. His name is Vance Spafford. Looks like he's going to be visiting USC this next weekend coming up. So hopefully this could be another guy USC can cherry pick from not only the state of Georgia, but also a guy who is maybe once committed to the University of Georgia as well. And then Jalen Smith, the ex-defensive back for USC, I believe he recently signed with Clutch Sports, so maybe that's a good thing for him. Obviously, they are an LA-based like marketing sports agency, but they really wouldn't sign anybody unless they thought they could make some money off of him. Obviously, they got like players like Juju Watkins, and I think they even had Caleb Williams while he was at USC too. So they obviously see some type of stardom or ability to make money off of him, and maybe he's getting some good numbers back for where he could get drafted pretty high, or at least have a higher shot at making an NFL roster. So that's pretty good to see. And then they did a ranking of like a bunch of the top 2026 players, and I think like 4, maybe 5 of them are all from California, which is pretty crazy. I think you start off with like Tyron Stokes at number 1 from Notre Dame, California, Brandon McCoy from Bosco in Orange County-ish area, another 5-star, and Christian Collins, who's from Bosco, also Taj Ariza is also from Westchester, California. Even Jason Crow is another 5-star from California. So if USC does not get one of these guys, I know they are in the running for at least 2 of them, but they don't get at least one of those top California guys to stay home and go play at USC, then there's definitely something wrong, in my opinion. But hopefully they can get one of these guys in next year's class. And then, yes, I believe it's Monday as you're watching this, USC faces against UCLA. I believe they play in the Galen Center at USC's home base, so hopefully it's a packed out house and USC could get the victory. I know UCLA is ranked up there pretty high, so it'll be a nice victory for the Trojans heading in to the March Madness tournament, or at least their projections to help them at least be able to get in a bit easier. And then, yes, the Anaheim Ducks ended up beating the Nashville Predators the other day 5-2, which is great to see. And then even the Raiders are hiring ex-USC coach Pete Carroll, which is pretty crazy, as their new head coach. He only, didn't coach for like 1 season, and I thought he was going to be a teacher, a professor at USC, but they kind of mentioned that within the last month or so, and then now all of a sudden he's taking the job in Las Vegas. So I guess good luck to him. They have so many great coaches now, and only the AFC West, including Jim Harbaugh of the Chargers. So hopefully Carroll doesn't get a couple victories against my Chargers, and everything will be good for the ex-USC coach. And yeah, was able to watch those games earlier on today. Eagles beating Washington. I was less surprised about that. Wasn't as surprised with the outcome of the Bills and Chiefs, just because a lot of questionable calls here and there, especially like a 4th down and 1 that it looked pretty obvious that Josh Allen had crossed that, line to gain, and they said they looked at it and they said he didn't. So obviously if you're going to leave it up to the refs, they're going to call what was on the field, and they said he was short. So obviously the ball went back to Kansas City. Buffalo had chances, but of course they gave it up here and there and didn't execute and stuff, and their defense was pretty bad at the wrong times too. And then even in that other game, Austin Eckler made a pretty bad fumble. Obviously Chargers fans are too used to that, but yeah, so it's a rematch from a couple years ago, Kansas City and Philly. Obviously I'm going for Philadelphia, even though I think Kansas City has a couple of Duke and USC guys, so I usually would pick that team to win in the Super Bowl. But this year, I kind of like see the chance go down, kind of like how we would always choose against the Patriots, right? So hoping not for a 3-peat for a team that's in the AFC West. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day.